Good morning, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you. It's Monday morning, February 3rd. We're looking at Window Trader's market profile of the ES and NQ. First trading day of the month. I'm showing you Friday's highs for a very specific reason, right? I want people to look at the market in terms of the market being the leader and not the news that comes out. You know, last Monday we had a large gap down and we spent the entire 5 days taking it all back, and it was based on all the tariffs. Well, they knew the tariffs were coming, so if they gapped it down last Monday, why'd they spend all week taking it back? And then again, they'll be using the tariffs as the reason why the market looks to gap lower again on a large gap. How about the fact that last week, after taking back the large gap, look where ES stalled. Right at a monthly and weekly balance high. We talk about balance rules. Right? NQ couldn't fill the little set of single prints from the 24th to get into that day's upper distribution. To me, those are much, much sounder reasons based on market-generated information as to why the market might have rolled over now and start going back down to balance on the longer time frames. Now, I had the ES up on the daily, okay, based on, and the NQ based on the one time frame and up for 4 days. Some people had it as balance still, and that's fine. So for me today, we're just forming our balance on the daily in the ES and the NQ. We're talking about another large gap, okay? We talk about it all the time, emotional trading, okay? Dalton likes to say there's no adults in the room. That's a very excellent line. This is, again, I can't stress it enough. You should write it in front of you for when you get frustrated when the market does a certain thing. You're trading with mindless machines and uneducated traders. That equals fickleness and absolutely no loyalty towards which way the market is going at that point in the day, the week, or whatever. Plain and simple. Okay? Now, again, you'll have the gap and go crowd going nuts, which generally doesn't work. Even though we still have a large gap, we've come off, at least for now, almost $3.50 off the low in ES. And in NQ, we got down to about 942. So that's what? Again, 250 points off the lows. That, even with that though, we're still talking a gap of $7 in ES, and in NQ, 200 to 536. That's 336 points, right? So 336 divided by 42, $8 gap. So, again, unless we have a tremendous rally in the next 75 minutes, you're going to open with a downside gap, and a decent one at that. Emotional trading. When you get gaps of this magnitude, again, I'm not going to just go and take a short to go get the overnight low. We've seen that game before. Obviously, the overnight is totally 100% short. Okay? So, we'll see what kind of an inventory adjustment we get. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind. Here's last week's low in ES, okay, 96.75. So not only are they going to have a daily gap, there's a potential for a weekly gap again to the downside. Not a monthly, but a weekly. Now, NQ is nowhere near. Well, I shouldn't say that. They did trade below last week's low, but right now they're above it. So the next question is, will they have just a daily gap, or will they go back down below the 27th weekly low, which was the large gap from last week? These are all things we're going to have to figure out. Now, again, there's 75 minutes to go, but for argument's sake, if this is the overnight high in ES, it's a beautiful risk-reward short the first time against the 11-wide POC from the 16th, which will be an upside destination as of now, and against the overnight high. And then you could use the weekly gap fill as you're out if it got above it. That's a nice risk-reward short. Again, that's if things stay the same over the next 75 minutes. All right? Am I looking for a long? No, I am not looking for a long. You're going to have indices, you're going to have gap, you're going to have value in favor of the bears right now. So until they start proving something different, I'm going to be looking for shorts where I'm comfortable. NQ also, if this is the overnight high at around the 272 level, again, you're going to have to use a point total if you're going to front run it to see if they get back. That right now they're taking back the single prints from January 28th. Remember, the market gapped low on the 27th, had a trend day up on the 28th. We grinded up all week, took back the gaps, and look where we are now. It's pretty mind-numbing. Like I said, I think I said this on Friday. I'd give my right arm to trade against long-term money rather than against this type of fickle, fragile, glass-jawed, pajama-wearing, emotional traders, without a doubt. Again, that's why I suggest coming into my trading room, okay? So you can go through this with me for 6 hours a day, 6.5 hours a day as a live webinar while this is being live streamed. Here's your charts. Coming into February, we're a 3-month balance in the S&P, okay? 2-month balance in the NQ. On the weekly, it's a large balance. So taking out last week's low, okay, you might have a weekly gap, which is important, but it's just still balance. You don't come out of balance in the SPY until you take out 575.35. So we're still pretty far from that, at least for now. So we're still going to be balanced on the monthly and the weekly. Now, a lot of people were still calling this balance on the daily, and I don't have a problem with that at all. But I thought the fact that we filled that large gap and were one-time framing up for 4 days, I called the daily up. So even though we're going to be opening below this whole thing, so a lot of people will be going balance to bear. Again, no problem. I'm going from up to balance. So today's low will be my balance low. If we're truly going to go down, it shouldn't be that hard taking out today's low, either tomorrow or Wednesday or something of that nature, and then I would be firmly down on the daily like other people might be starting today. Okay? Good luck trading today. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing to this channel. And we'll recap at 4 p.m.